Financial analysis, purpose and limitations. Listed companies publish annual financial statements to provide more accessible information to their relevant stakeholders and potential investors. Financial analysis allows us to understand what the numbers published in these annual financial statements mean. However, all financial analysis is done under the veil that there are certain limitations to the information provided. When we do financial analysis, we are essentially ascertaining the potential future earnings of a business relative to the potential risk. So why should we care about financial analysis? Well, it helps us to understand financial statements, and financial statements can be said to be the language of commerce, so to speak. Knowing this language not only helps in translating it for people who are unfamiliar with the language, but also in interpreting trends for investment purposes or for spotting anomalies. Ratios are usually used to compare a company's present performance to its past performance. Profitability. Profitability measures a company's ability to produce profits. We are going to use the net operating margin to measure a company's profitability. What does this mean? Well, the net operating margin measures the percentage of sales that actually become net profit. Well, why should one care? Net operating margin indicates how efficiently the company has managed its operating expenses. An increase in net operating margin generally indicates better management of company expenses. This can reveal how well a company is managing its expenses compared to other companies and its previous results. Efficiency. Efficiency measures a company's ability to use its assets and manage its liabilities effectively. In terms of efficiency, the first ratio we will use is the return on total assets ratio. This evaluates how well a company's asset base is being used to generate income. Well, why should we care? This is important because if management is not using its asset base of the company efficiently, then income is not being generated efficiently either, and the company is essentially losing out on income opportunities, both future and current opportunities. The second efficiency ratio we will be evaluating is the working capital cycle. Well, what does this mean? The working capital cycle indicates the average number of days it takes for the company to repay its creditors from the day it purchases inventory on credit. Well, why should we care? This ratio is particularly important as it gives great insight into the efficiency of the company to turn its current assets and liabilities into cash. Without sufficient cash, the company cannot carry on with its ordinary day-to-day activities.
Leverage ratios tell us about how a company finances its operations. The formula for the equity multiplier is total assets divided by total equity. What does this mean? A small equity multiplier means that a company uses less debt to finance its assets, whereas a large equity multiplier means that a company uses more debt to purchase its assets. Why should I care? An increase in leverage, i.e. debt, increases ROE because debt is a cheap source of financing. In fact, debt is cheaper than equity because interest payments are tax deductible. However, if a company takes on too much debt, shareholder value can be destroyed and the company could eventually become bankrupt. Return on equity is a ratio that is calculated to analyze the financial performance of a company. It can be calculated by dividing net profit after tax with equity, or the DuPont method can be used. Under the DuPont method, ROE is the product of profitability, asset efficiency, and leverage. What does this all mean? ROE essentially tells us how much profit a company has made with the money shareholders have invested into the business. Why should I care? The greater ROE is, the more value is being created for shareholders of a company. Although ROE is a commonly used metric for value creation, it does have limitations. For instance, many financial managers obtain their year-end bonuses based on the company's financial performance and are therefore tempted to artificially increase ROE. This can be done by writing down more assets, taking on more debt, or buying back shares. As a result, ROE may not always be a true reflection of a company's financial performance.
Created using Powtoon.